In 1947, on the sun-kissed shores of Hawaii, a boy named Toru was born to a father who shaped minds and a mother who healed bodies. Despite his father's esteemed position as an educator, the family, burdened by financial instability, often teetered on the edge of uncertainty. Toru, eager to serve his nation, joined the United States Marine Corps, soaring through the skies as a helicopter pilot in the Vietnam War. After leaving the Corps, Toru stumbled through a series of jobs, first as a Xerox salesman and later a failed entrepreneur. His ventures, selling Velcro wallets and surf products, crumbled under poor management and quality, leaving him drowning in debt. By 1984, bankruptcy loomed large, and in 1985, Toru hit rock bottom. With his girlfriend Kim, they found themselves homeless, their possessions lost, their future uncertain. Their once proud lives were reduced to sleeping in a Toyota, using reclining seats as beds. Every street they passed was a reminder of dreams slipping through their fingers, and the weight of failure pressed so deeply that it seemed their hearts would break. The world had turned its back on Toru, and with it, his hope. But this was not the end. One day, Toru met a mentor who shared with him the 8 secrets to endless wealth. That changed his life forever. This is not a fantasy story. Toru is now the king of U.S. real estate, owning around 15,000 rental properties. He has multiple gold and silver mines across the world. He is the founder of a multi-million-dollar company with a net worth of $100 million US. He is none other than Robert Toru Kiyosaki. If you are also the one struggling with a financial crisis, living a life full of compromises just to pay monthly bills, or dreaming of a luxury life but lack proper guidance and money, then this video is for you. In this video, you will discover those 8 secrets to endless wealth that paved the way for Robert Kiyosaki's journey from rags to riches. So, are you still with me? Let's start. Secret number 8. Create assets that generate revenue. Imagine it's a hot summer day and you've got the best lemonade stand in the neighborhood. People are lining up to get a taste of your delicious lemonade. You work hard all day, selling cups for 50 cents each, and by the end of the day, you've earned $20. But here's the thing. What if you didn't have to stand there every day to earn that money? What if the lemonade kept selling even when you were playing with your friends? Sounds cool, right? That's kind of what this secret is about. Learning how to make something once that keeps making money for you over and over again. Let's break it down step by step. Point number 1. It takes money to make money, but not always in the way you think. You've probably heard the old saying, you need money to make money. It's true sometimes. Let's say you wanted to buy a big ice cream machine to sell ice cream cones. That would cost money up front. Or if you wanted to buy stocks like in The Wolf of Wall Street, you'd need money to start. But here's a little secret. Instead of thinking, I need money to make money, start thinking, how can I create something valuable? That is, a revenue-generating asset. Point number 2. So, what's a revenue-generating asset? Here's where it gets exciting. A revenue-generating asset is something you make once, but it keeps earning money for you. Let's go back to your lemonade stand. Instead of selling lemonade every day, what if you wrote a recipe book called The Ultimate Lemonade Recipes? Now, you could sell your book online or in stores, and people all over the world could buy it. You don't need to stand in the hot sun every day anymore. Your book does the work for you. This is what Robert Kiyosaki, the guy who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, calls creating assets. He even says, I write a book today, sell it in 50 languages, and collect royalties for years. A revenue-generating asset is based on the long tail concept. But what's a long tail and why does it matter? Let's say you write that lemonade recipe book. At first, maybe only 10 people buy it. That's okay. The cool part is that it doesn't stop selling. Even if only one person buys it each month, over 10 years, that's hundreds of sales. This is called the long tail in business. It means what really matters isn't selling a ton of something all at once, but having it sell for a long, long time. Think of Walt Disney. He started with one cartoon, Mickey Mouse, a long time ago. Today, Disney still earns money from Mickey Mouse toys, shows, and movies. That's the long tail in action. Quick recap. 1. It takes money to make money. Sometimes true, but creating something valuable is even better. 2. Revenue-generating assets, things you make once that keep earning money, like books, apps, or even YouTube videos. 3. The long tail. It's okay if something sells slowly as long as it sells for a long time. Secret number 7. Reinvest profits made on created assets. Okay, let's stick with your lemonade story. Remember your recipe book, The Ultimate Lemonade Recipes? Let's say you earn $10 every time someone buys it. Pretty cool, right? But here's the next level. What if you use the money you made from your book to do something even bigger? Imagine you've earned $200 from selling books. Instead of spending it all on branded clothes or parties, you decide to borrow $1,000 from the bank. Why? Because you want to buy a piece of land in your neighborhood where you can open a bigger lemonade stand, or better yet, rent it out to other people who also want to sell lemonade. This is what Robert Kiyosaki means when he says, let's say I make $10 on a book. I'll borrow $50 to invest in real estate. He's taking the small success of his book and using it to build something even bigger, like a property that earns money for years. This is called as calculated risk. So, what's a calculated risk? Now, borrowing money might sound a little scary, right? What if you can't pay it back? That's why it's called a calculated risk. It means you've thought about it carefully and have a plan. For example, Elon Musk, when he made money from selling his first company, Zip2, he didn't keep it all in the bank. Instead, he invested it in new ideas like Tesla and SpaceX. People thought he was taking a big risk, but he believed in his plan, and now he's one of the richest people in the world. But remember, don't follow the crowd blindly. Here's another important lesson. Just because everyone says this is the way to do it, doesn't mean you have to follow them. For example, lots of people say you should save money and invest in the stock market. That's not a bad idea. It works for many people. But Kiyosaki says, why would I do that when I can make my own assets? In other words, instead of putting your money into something someone else made, like a big company's stock, you can create your own business or product that makes money for you. Think about Steve Jobs. He didn't follow the traditional path of getting a safe job. Instead, he created Apple, a company that made amazing products like the iPhone, which millions of people love. So, the point is, calculated risk gives you leverage. Here's a fancy word for you. Leverage. It means using what you have to get even more. Let's go back to your lemonade empire. First, you made money from your book. Then you used that money, and some borrowed money, to buy a piece of land. Now you're renting out that land to other people who want to sell lemonade, and you're earning even more money. That's leverage, taking your first success and using it to create new opportunities. Quick recap. 1. Start small. Create something valuable, like your lemonade recipe book. 2. Take calculated risks. Use your success to invest in bigger opportunities, like real estate. 3. Don't follow the crowd. Think creatively and focus on building your own assets. 4. Leverage. Use one success to help you achieve even bigger things. Secret number 6. Be aware of tax liabilities and focus more on passive income. When Warren Buffett was a kid, he loved reading books about money and business. By the time he was 11, he bought his first stock, a small piece of a company. When he sold that stock later, he made some extra cash. But here's the thing. When Warren sold his stock for more than he bought it, he had to pay something called capital gains tax. That's when the government takes a part of the money you make from selling something valuable, like a house or a stock. The more you sell, the more tax you pay. For example, if you buy a house for $100,000 and sell it later for $200,000, the $100,000 you made is your capital gain, and a big chunk of that could go to taxes. That's why Robert Kiyosaki thinks passive income is the smarter way to grow wealth. What is passive income? The money you earn without having to sell something or work all the time. Passive income is like planting an apple tree. You work hard at first to plant and grow the tree, but once it's big and strong, it gives you apples every year without much effort. Here are a few examples of passive income. Rental properties. Imagine you own a house and someone pays you rent to live there. You get money every month for decades without selling the house. Limited partnerships. Think of it like helping a friend start a business. You give them some money to get started, and they share a part of their profits with you. Royalties. Remember we talked about writing a book or making a YouTube video. Every time someone buys your book or watches your video, you make money. But why passive income is better than capital gains as per Robert Kiyosaki? Let's compare. Portfolio income, capital gains. You buy and sell things like houses or stocks, but every time you sell, you have to pay heavy taxes on your profit. Passive income. You make money from things like renting out a house or earning royalties. The money comes in for decades and the taxes are often lower. Robert Kiyosaki says, why sell something and pay a lot of taxes when you can own it and let it keep making money for you? This is an eye-opener, isn't it? Think about LeBron James. He doesn't just earn money from playing basketball. He also invests in businesses like Blaze Pizza. Even if he's not working at the pizza shop, he earns money from it. Quick recap. 1. Portfolio income, capital gains. You make money by selling something for more than you paid, but you have to pay taxes on the profit. 2. Passive income. You make money from things like rent, royalties, or partnerships, and it's often taxed less. 3. Why passive income wins. It's like growing an apple tree. It keeps giving you money without much effort. Secret number 5. Avoid ordinary income. There is a guy named Joe. Joe lives in Texas, loves coffee, and works as a software developer for a big tech company. His job pays him $150,000 a year. Sounds like a lot of money, right? Joe is living the American dream, or so it seems. But here's what happens to Joe's paycheck. Every month, the government takes a big chunk of his money in taxes. In fact, people like Joe who earn high salaries pay up to 37% in federal income taxes. That's before state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare. By the time Joe gets his paycheck, he's already lost about $50,000 to taxes. Now, Joe works super hard, often late into the night, debugging software and meeting deadlines. But no matter how hard he works, he's stuck in what Robert Kiyosaki calls the rat race, working for the ordinary income. Ordinary income is the money you earn from a job, like a paycheck. Here's the problem. Ordinary income is the highest taxed income in the world. The more you earn, the more taxes you pay. So, even though Joe makes $150,000 a year, he's losing a big part of it to taxes. Compare this to someone like Beyoncé, who earns royalties from her music. Even if she takes a month off, her songs are still making money for her. This is why Robert Kiyosaki says, I don't want a paycheck. Instead of working for ordinary income, a paycheck, he focuses on creating assets that generate money without needing to work constantly. These are things like rental properties, investments, or businesses. That's why the richest 1% of Americans often pay a lower tax rate than people like Joe. Why? Because they make money in ways that are taxed less, like long-term capital gains. Money from selling assets like stocks or houses held for over 1 year. Because long-term capital gains are taxed at a lower rate, 15% or 20% for most people. Passive income, money from rental properties or royalties. For example, Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in America, has said he pays a lower tax rate than his secretary because most of his money comes from investments, not a paycheck. Quick recap. 1. Ordinary income is money from a job, but it's taxed the most. 2. High-paying jobs might sound great, but taxes and trading time for money can hold you back. 3. Wealthy people focus on creating assets and earning passive income, which are taxed less. Secret number 4. Taxes can be rewards, not just bills. Taxes don't always mean bad news. Sometimes they can actually be a way to help you save money if you do things the government wants to encourage. For example, donating to a food bank. Food banks are places that help feed people who don't have enough to eat. If someone donates $100 to a food bank, the government might say, "Hey, thanks for helping. We'll let you pay less in taxes this year." Robert Kiyosaki, a famous investor, explains it like this. If you donate money, you get a tax credit, a reward for helping others. If you don't donate, you don't get the reward. Robert Kiyosaki says he owns 15,000 rental properties. That's a lot of homes for people. Because he's providing housing, the government gives him tax breaks to reward him. Now, you might be thinking, why does the government offer these rewards? Because the government wants to solve big problems like feeding the hungry, building homes, or creating jobs. But they can't do everything themselves. So, they give incentives, rewards, to people like Robert Kiyosaki who help. For example, if you donate to charity, you're helping people in need. If you start a business, you're creating jobs. If you own rental properties, you're giving people homes. The government says, "Thank you for helping out. Here's a tax break." That's why Bill Gates donates billions to charity through the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation. Because he's helping so many people, he gets tax breaks for his donations. Quick recap. 1. Tax credits are like rewards. The government gives you a break on your taxes when you do helpful things. 2. Charity helps you save. Donating to food banks or other charities can reduce your taxes. Be a helper and save money. Secret number 3. Know when to hire financial experts. Managing money and taxes can be tricky, kind of like solving a big puzzle. There are lots of rules and numbers to figure out, and it's easy to make mistakes if you try to do everything by yourself. That's why you need a team of experts to guide you, people who know their stuff and can help you make smart moves. Think of it like baking a cake. You wouldn't try to mix all the ingredients without a recipe, right? You'd follow instructions or ask someone who knows how to bake. Managing money works the same way. You need people who've already mastered the recipe for success. Think of your finance team as a group of superheroes, each with a special power. The accountant keeps your finances organized. The lawyer protects you from legal problems. The financial advisor helps you plan for the future. When they work together, they make sure you're doing everything the right way and setting yourself up for success. For example, LeBron has a team of experts who help him manage his money, invest in businesses, and even start his own projects, like a school for kids. He doesn't do it all by himself because he knows the value of having a great team. Quick recap. Managing money can be tricky, so you need a team of experts. 2. They help you save money, avoid trouble, and grow your wealth. Secret number 2. Redefine risk. Fear of failure can stop you from doing amazing things with money and life. Imagine you're at the edge of the diving board at a pool. You really want to jump in and make a splash, but you're afraid of how deep the water is. If you let that fear stop you, you'll never know how fun it feels to leap into the water. This is what happens to many people when it comes to money. They're afraid to take risks, like starting a business or trying a new investment because they worry about failing. But here's the deal. If you never try, you never grow. See failure as a teacher, not as an enemy. Robert Kiyosaki says failure isn't something to fear. It's actually one of the best ways to learn. Think of it this way. If you fall off your bike, you don't give up riding forever, right? You learn what went wrong, get back on, and try again. That's why taking risks is actually important. Kiyosaki believes that risks are worth it because they often lead to big rewards if you think them through carefully. Example, imagine you save $100 from doing chores. You have two options. Keep the money in your piggy bank, safe but no growth. Use the money to sell cookies at a school event. Risky, but has the potential to double your money. Even if your cookies don't sell out, you've learned something valuable, like how to price them better or which flavors people like more. Robert Kiyosaki talks about how he didn't always succeed. He took risks and sometimes things didn't go as planned. But instead of giving up, he asked, "What did I learn?" That's how he became so good at business and investing. Quick recap. 1. Fear keeps you stuck. Don't let it stop you from trying new things. 2. Failure teaches you. Every mistake is a chance to learn and grow. 3. Take smart risks. Think carefully before making a move, but don't be afraid to try. Now it's time to reveal Robert Kiyosaki's golden secret to endless wealth. This secret is the most important of all and has been saved for last, especially for you who are serious and have patiently watched the video until now. The reason it's called the golden secret is that once you understand it, you will never have to face a shortage of money. So I want your full focus. Secret number 1. Understand the power of good debt. Do you know? Robert Kiyosaki has claimed to be in debt of more than $1 billion. Shocking, right? You will understand it in the end. Let me explain. Picture this. You're walking past a cool ice cream truck and the owner offers you a deal. He says, "If you can buy this ice cream truck from me, you'll own it and make money every day selling ice cream." But there's one problem. You don't have enough money to buy the truck. What do? This story will help explain how debt can sometimes be a smart tool, not a bad thing. Most people think debt is like a big monster. They say, stay away from debt. But Robert Kiyosaki has a different idea. He says there's good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is when you borrow money for things that don't help you grow wealth, like buying a luxury car just for show off. Good debt is when you borrow money to buy something that can make you even more money, like a business or a rental house. Now back to your ice cream truck. Let's say the truck costs $5,000, but you only have $500 saved. Instead of giving up, you decide to ask your parents for a loan. You tell them, you'll use the truck to sell ice cream. You'll make enough money to pay back the loan and still have money left over as profit. This is an example of good debt because you're borrowing money to buy something that can make you more money. Just like Donald Trump before he became president. He used loans to buy huge buildings and properties. Then, he rented out the buildings to businesses and people. The rent money helped him pay back the loans, and he still made a profit. This is how many wealthy people use debt. They see it as a tool, not a problem. In short, take debt, create a revenue-generating asset, pay back the loan, and keep the profit. But keep in mind, be smart about debt. Kiyosaki says you should never borrow money without a plan. If you're going to use debt, you need to make sure you can pay it back and still make a profit. Here's how you can be smart about it. Do your homework. Before buying something, research how much money it can make. Have a plan to pay it back. Make sure you know how you'll return the borrowed money. Take small steps. Don't borrow more than you can handle. Start small and grow from there. This sounds risky, right? Sometimes taking on good debt feels a little scary because there's a risk it might not work out. But Kiyosaki says every successful person has to take risks. What matters is being smart about it. Example, let's say you borrow money to start a lemonade stand. If it rains all week, you might not make enough money to pay back the loan. That's why it's important to plan for risks. Maybe save some money for backup or sell something else when it rains, like hot chocolate. Risk comes with the reward. Kiyosaki talks about how he used good debt to buy rental properties. He borrowed money to buy houses, then rented them out to people. The rent money paid off the loans, and he kept the extra cash as profit. Today, he owns thousands of rental properties and makes a ton of money from them. Quick recap. 1. Not all debt is bad. Bad debt buys things that don't make you money. Good debt helps you grow your wealth. 2. Be smart with debt. Always have a plan and be ready for risks. Conclusion. So, here are the key takeaways from this video. First, create valuable assets that generate revenue for the long term. Second, reinvest profits made from created assets to build more revenue-generating assets. Third, be aware of tax liabilities and focus more on passive income. Fourth, ordinary income is taxed the most, which is why wealthy people focus on creating assets that are taxed less. Fifth, do charity and enjoy tax breaks. Sixth, create a team of financial experts to save more money and avoid trouble. Seventh, take smart risks. Think carefully before making a move, but don't be afraid to try. Eighth, not all debt is bad. Good debt helps you grow your wealth, but be smart with debt and always have a backup plan to mitigate risks. Share this video with people you want to see grow and subscribe for more.